in a world where respect is hard to earn and easy to lose. Our daily habits can either build strong relationships or silently erode them. Think back to a time when someone's actions made you question their integrity or trustworthiness. How did you feel? Now imagine if you unwittingly did the same to those around you. Respect, once lost, can be hard to regain, and it's often the little things repeated, unnoticed behaviors that slowly erode how others see us. In this video, we'll explore common habits that can cause people to lose respect for you, and we'll dive into how the Stoic principles of self-discipline, empathy, and personal responsibility offer a way to overcome them. By looking at each behavior through this timeless lens, you'll discover practical steps to rebuild and maintain the respect of those around you and become someone you can respect yourself. Ready to take control of your actions and master the art of respectful living? Let's dive in. 1. Being rude and inconsiderate. Have you ever been interrupted in the middle of expressing your thoughts, only to feel invisible or dismissed? Did it change the way you viewed the person who interrupted you? In our increasingly fast-paced world, where we're often juggling multiple tasks and distractions, it's all too easy to slip into patterns of rudeness and inconsideration without even realizing it. Whether it's interrupting someone during a conversation, ignoring reasonable requests, or using harsh and condescending language, these small acts of thoughtlessness can have a lasting impact on those around us. Yet, we tend to underestimate just how much damage these behaviors can inflict on our relationships and how they erode the respect others have for us. Stoic philosophy teaches that we should strive for mastery over our impulses, cultivating virtues like empathy and patience in our daily interactions. But how often do we fall short of these ideals in our everyday life? In today's digital age, where our attention is constantly divided, inconsiderate behavior is becoming more common. Think about it. How often do we half listen to someone while checking our phones or hastily respond to a colleague in a meeting without giving their ideas proper attention? These small, seemingly harmless acts of rudeness accumulate over time, sending a clear message that we don't truly value the other person's input or feelings. Whether in a professional setting like cutting off a coworker mid-sentence or in personal relationships, these habits slowly chip away at trust and mutual respect. The Stoics believed that respectful communication is not just about politeness, but about recognizing the humanity in others, understanding that everyone deserves the same attention and consideration we would want for ourselves. Imagine the last time someone interrupted you during an important meeting or dismissed your concerns at home. How did that make you feel? Most likely you felt ignored, undervalued, or perhaps even frustrated. It's these feelings of neglect that damage relationships over time. No matter how small, inconsiderate actions plant seeds of resentment. Stoicism offers a remedy for this practice: active listening. Truly engage with what the other person is saying, instead of merely waiting for your turn to speak. Empathy is another key Stoic value, putting ourselves in the shoes of others and understanding how our actions might affect them. This requires us to pause, reflect, and think about how our words and behaviors may impact those around us. Finally, polite communication is essential. Even in moments of stress or frustration, the Stoics teach us to control our emotions and choose our words carefully, ensuring that our communication always reflects the respect we hold for others. By applying these Stoic principles, you'll immediately notice the positive shift in your relationships. People will begin to view you as someone who values their time, respects their opinions, and genuinely cares about their well-being. In work meetings, actively listening to a colleague without interrupting will foster a sense of mutual respect and collaboration. At home, being mindful of how you respond to your loved ones can strengthen your emotional bonds and create an atmosphere of trust and understanding. The more we embody these values, the more others will mirror them back to us. Respect is a two-way street, and it begins with how we treat those around us. So how will you approach your conversations today? Will you practice patience and empathy, ensuring that you're fully present in each interaction? Or will you allow distraction and impatience to creep in? Reflect on these questions and consider how you might improve your communication by being more aware of others' needs and feelings. Now, let's take this a step further. Comment below if you're ready to make this change. I commit to practicing active listening and empathy in my daily conversations. Share a time when you've recognized inconsiderate behavior in yourself, and together we can hold each other accountable in the journey towards more mindful and respectful interactions. 2. lacking personal integrity. Reflecting on the choices we make reveals a profound truth: our actions can either build or destroy the trust others place in us. Have you ever felt a pang of guilt after breaking a promise or betraying someone's trust? These fleeting moments, often dismissed, can define how others perceive us in the long run. In a world where shortcuts and expediency often tempt us to stray from our core values, personal integrity stands as the cornerstone of respect and trust in our relationships. Integrity shapes not only how we view ourselves, but also how the world perceives us, influencing our connections both personally and professionally. The consequences of lacking integrity can be profound and far-reaching. In a society increasingly marked by dishonesty, resorting to lying, cheating, or stealing may yield immediate gains, but such actions inevitably lead to a significant erosion of trust and respect. Take, for instance, the simple yet poignant scenario of a friend who borrows money with no intention of repaying it. This betrayal not only damages the relationship but casts a long shadow over their character, leading to a ripple effect that can tarnish reputations and isolate individuals. The emotional fallout is substantial. When integrity is compromised, it creates a rift of mistrust that is hard to mend. It's crucial to examine how our behaviors align with our stated values. Are there moments where we prioritize convenience over honesty? As you ponder your relationships, think about someone you respect deeply. What do you believe they would do in a situation where integrity is tested? These questions compel us to live authentically and encourage us to embody the principles we espouse. To cultivate personal integrity, begin with a reflection on your core values and make a conscious effort to keep promises, no matter how small. Practicing transparency in relationships and holding oneself accountable for actions are vital steps toward rebuilding trust. While the journey toward integrity is not always easy, the rewards are profound. Living in alignment with your values not only restores trust but also cultivates a sense of inner peace. By choosing to embrace integrity, we empower ourselves to build stronger, more respectful relationships that enrich our lives and the lives of those around us. In light of this, I invite you to share a commitment you're willing to make to enhance your integrity this week. Let's support each other in cultivating respect and trust in our lives, for it is through these small acts of honesty and alignment that we create a ripple effect of integrity in our communities. 3. Acting entitled and superior. Consider the impact of a condescending superior who seems to float above the rest, treating others as mere stepping stones to their own success. Imagine an employee subjected to public berating while their boss demands they work weekends, all while the boss basks in the sun on vacation. Such experiences can leave deep emotional scars, fostering a sense of resentment that not only disrupts workplace harmony but also stifles personal growth. In an era that increasingly values collaboration and mutual respect, the habit of acting entitled and superior creates invisible barriers that undermine the essence of equality we strive to uphold. As we navigate our social and professional landscapes, it becomes clear that many environments are steeped in hierarchies and power dynamics. The rise of social media has made entitlement all the more visible, showcasing how those in positions of authority often demand special privileges without considering the ramifications of their actions. This behavior breeds a toxic atmosphere where employees feel undervalued and disrespected, diminishing both individual well-being and collective organizational health. Take, for example, the experience of an employee who pours their heart and soul into their work, only to be met with disdain from a higher-up. The emotional toll of feeling diminished is significant, leading to disengagement and a loss of respect for those who wield power irresponsibly. It prompts us to ask ourselves, how have we responded when faced with disrespect? And when in positions of authority, how do we choose to wield that power? Reflecting on these moments can reveal the transformative potential of humility. The teachings of Stoicism remind us that true strength resides in humility and gratitude. Rather than using our status as a shield, we can embrace a mindset that treats everyone with fairness and respect, acknowledging the inherent value each individual brings. Simple, intentional acts such as recognizing a colleague's contributions or prioritizing listening over speaking can nurture a culture of mutual respect. By consciously cultivating humility, we pave the way for deeper and more meaningful relationships. Ultimately, embracing humility does more than enhance our interactions, it liberates us from the burdens of entitlement. When respect becomes a cornerstone of our relationships, it generates a virtuous cycle that enriches both our lives and the lives of those around us. As you navigate your daily interactions, why not challenge yourself? Make a commitment to perform at least one act of kindness or fairness this week. Sharing your experiences and insights can foster a community centered around Stoic principles and mutual respect. By collectively rejecting entitlement and embracing humility, we have the power to cultivate an atmosphere of growth, empowerment, and genuine connection. 4. Being closed-minded and judgmental. Sometimes the biggest barriers we face are the ones we don't even see. When was the last time you brushed off someone's opinion simply because it didn't align with yours? Or when did you find yourself quietly passing judgment on something unfamiliar? What you may not realize is that being closed-minded and judgmental, even in these small moments, can gradually erode the respect others have for you. Living in a time of constant change, the ability to adapt and embrace new perspectives is a superpower. Exposure to diverse viewpoints and ideas is inevitable, especially as we interact with more people and cultures. However, clinging to rigid beliefs or stereotypes limits not only our intellectual growth but also our capacity to connect with others. Refusing to engage with different viewpoints can make us seem closed off, and over time, this attitude can lead others to lose respect for us. If you think back on times when you've dismissed an idea without a second thought, what motivated that reaction? Perhaps it's the comfort of feeling like your worldview is the right one. However, this comfort is deceptive, creating a barrier between you and the learning experiences all around you. Take, for example, someone labeling another culture's traditions as primitive simply because they don't understand them. This mindset doesn't just prevent personal growth, it isolates you from deeper connections with those around you. Let's take a moment to reflect on our own habits. How often do you find yourself tuning out someone who disagrees with you? Consider whether you're giving enough space for other perspectives to be heard. It's easy to think our judgments are harmless, but they often say more about our own limitations than they do about others. By recognizing this, we can start to dismantle the walls we've built between ourselves and the world. What if you could make a small shift in how you respond to new ideas? The next time you encounter a viewpoint that challenges your beliefs, take a deep breath and ask yourself what you can learn from it. The Stoics taught that true wisdom lies in openness to change, and this principle can help guide us. Rather than rushing to judgment, take the time to ask questions, listen, and weigh new evidence. You might be surprised at how much growth happens when you allow yourself to remain open-minded. With each new perspective you embrace, a door to deeper connections opens. By practicing openness, you not only gain knowledge but also earn the respect of those around you. People are naturally drawn to individuals who demonstrate curiosity and a willingness to learn. By letting go of judgment, you create space for richer, more meaningful relationships and experiences. Think about one situation where you've held on to a judgment. Challenge yourself to see that moment from a new angle. How does shifting your mindset change the way you feel about it? Share your thoughts below. Let's take this journey of self-reflection together, fostering a community that thrives on openness and mutual respect. 5. Lying, exaggerating, and deceiving. The intricacies of human interaction often reveal the fine line between truth and falsehood. Reflecting on moments where you've chosen between honesty and convenience can reveal profound insights about our human nature. Lying, exaggerating, and deceiving are not merely undesirable habits, they are the cracks that erode the foundation of trust in our relationships. In a world increasingly dominated by social media and the rapid spread of information, the truth is a rare commodity, and dishonesty can have dire consequences, ranging from personal loss to professional downfall. Consider the scenario of a job seeker who fabricates their qualifications. Initially, this deception may open doors, offering the illusion of success. Yet, when the truth comes to light, the fallout is often catastrophic loss of credibility, damaged relationships, and a tarnished reputation. Such experiences serve as stark reminders that the comfort of a lie is fleeting, while the repercussions can last a lifetime. As you navigate through your own choices, ponder this: is a lie worth sacrificing the respect and trust of those around you? Or does a slight exaggeration truly pave the way to success? Or does it instead ensnare you in a web of deceit? These questions urge deep self-reflection, prompting us to evaluate our choices and their impacts on our lives and those we care about. To embrace a life aligned with Stoic principles, a commitment to truthfulness is essential, even when it is uncomfortable or inconvenient. Start small by practicing honesty in your daily interactions. Admit when you need more time to complete a task instead of crafting an excuse. The more you cultivate this habit, the more liberated you will feel. Ultimately, choosing truth over deception may not always be the easiest path, but it leads to a profound sense of freedom and relief. As you strive for honesty, you will likely find that your relationships deepen and strengthen, built on a foundation of trust. Share your experiences. What lies have you told, and how have you overcome them? By committing to a life of honesty, not only do you respect others, but you also honor your own integrity, creating a community where truth reigns supreme. 6. Blaming others for your mistakes. It's all too easy to place the blame elsewhere when things don't go according to plan. When was the last time you found yourself doing exactly that, pushing the fault onto someone else or external circumstances? Instead of immediately owning the problem, have you noticed how quick we are to shift the responsibility onto a colleague or a situation beyond our control? How do you think that impacts how others perceive you in those moments? The pattern of deflecting blame is more common than you might think, and its consequences can be devastating for your personal and professional relationships. We live in a time where accountability is a key factor in maintaining trust, whether in the workplace or personal relationships. Letting others carry the weight of your mistakes chips away at the respect they have for you. Consider the subtle, yet undeniable damage that occurs each time you pass the blame. Maybe in the workplace, an error occurs in a report, and instead of taking responsibility, you shift the focus to faulty software or blame an assistant for the oversight. In doing so, not only are you avoiding growth, but you're also sacrificing long-term trust. People start to see you as someone who dodges responsibility rather than someone who learns and improves. For the Stoics, personal responsibility was at the core of self-improvement. They understood that while mistakes are inevitable, our response to them defines our character. The moment you decide to take ownership of your actions, you shift the narrative. Rather than losing respect, you gain it. Ownership of errors transforms a failure into a learning opportunity, showcasing strength, integrity, and a willingness to grow. Picture this: instead of avoiding blame, you openly acknowledge your mistake and take steps to rectify it. Suddenly, you're seen in a new light, one of maturity and accountability. Pause for a moment. If you reflect on your own experiences, can you recall a time when you blamed someone else for an error? How did that situation play out? How would things have been different if you had simply admitted to the mistake and committed to fixing it? It's a profound shift that changes how others view you and how you perceive yourself. Moving forward, challenge yourself to approach mistakes differently. Start by owning your actions and learning from them. Instead of pointing fingers, take a step back and say, "This is on me, and I will make it right." The sense of empowerment and respect that comes from this mindset shift is immediate, both from yourself and those around you. The beauty of taking responsibility lies in the freedom it provides. No longer burdened by the weight of hiding or deflecting, you are free to move forward with clarity and confidence. The Stoics knew that with every mistake comes the opportunity for growth, and with every acceptance of responsibility comes the strengthening of your character. So, the next time something goes wrong, seize the opportunity to own it. You'll be surprised at how quickly others respect you more for it, and you'll respect yourself more too. Take a moment this week to reflect on your approach to responsibility. Challenge yourself to step up and own your actions without excuses or deflections. When you do, you'll notice an immediate shift in how people respond to you and how you respond to yourself. 7. Breaking promises and commitments. Trust is fragile, and once it's broken, rebuilding it is no easy task. Think about the last time someone you cared about backed out of plans or didn't follow through on a promise. You probably felt disappointed, maybe even frustrated. These moments aren't just minor inconveniences, they slowly erode the trust that forms the foundation of any relationship. But here's something to consider: how often are we guilty of doing the same? We may not realize it, but our own broken promises can cause just as much damage. The reality of today's busy, fast-paced world is that we're constantly juggling commitments, often biting off more than we can chew. We agree to things quickly, assuming we'll figure it out later until later comes, and we're either late or cancel altogether. We may think these small cancellations are harmless, but in reality they send a clear message that other people's time isn't as important as ours. Over time, this habit not only weakens our relationships, but also chips away at our reputation. People begin to see us as unreliable, and once respect is lost, it's hard to regain. Consider how it feels when a friend continually bails on you. At first, you might shrug it off. Life is unpredictable, after all. But over time, those last-minute cancellations start to feel like rejection. You may begin questioning whether they truly value your time or your relationship. It's a slow burn, but eventually the bond weakens. Whether it's social plans or professional commitments, breaking promises creates rifts that are hard to mend, leaving both parties with a sense of disillusionment and mistrust. Have you ever paused to think about how your own behavior in these situations might come across? How many times have you said yes to something without fully intending to follow through? These actions might seem trivial in the moment, but they reflect on our character. The promises we make, no matter how small, shape how others perceive us. If we constantly cancel or fail to show up, we're signaling that we're not reliable, and eventually, people will stop trusting us. The Stoics believe that our word is our bond, and we should only make commitments we truly intend to keep. Before agreeing to something, take a moment to reflect. Are you able to follow through, or are you saying yes out of obligation or habit? If you're unsure, it's better to decline up front rather than risk letting someone down later. And when you do commit, make every effort to honor it. If an unavoidable situation arises, communicate early and with respect. A sincere apology and clear communication can go a long way in maintaining trust. The rewards for being someone who consistently honors their commitments are profound. Not only will your relationships grow stronger, but people will view you as someone they can rely on, someone whose word holds true value. There's a unique sense of empowerment in being dependable, knowing that your actions align with your intentions. Imagine how liberating it feels when others trust and respect you because they know you follow through on what you say. To start making a change, ask yourself the next time you're about to make a promise, are you genuinely able to fulfill it? If the answer is yes, commit wholeheartedly. If not, be honest and upfront. Start now by sharing in the comments one commitment you're determined to follow through on this week. Let's hold each other accountable, building a community that thrives on trust and reliability. By living with integrity, we not only gain respect but also foster deeper, more meaningful connections. 8. Procrastinating and making excuses. In the whirlwind of everyday demands, it's all too easy to find yourself delaying important tasks and crafting flimsy excuses. This habit of procrastination extends beyond mere inefficiency. It signifies a deeper challenge in earning the respect of those around you. In our fast-paced and competitive environment, where every moment counts, the act of postponing responsibilities can undermine your credibility and strain professional relationships. Recognizing that your inaction impacts not just you, but also your colleagues who depend on your contributions is crucial. Consider a scenario where an impending project deadline looms. Instead of facing it with resolve, you might catch yourself tidying up your workspace or scrolling through social media, convincing yourself that these distractions are valid alternatives to productive work. The accumulation of unfinished tasks can feel overwhelming, and soon enough, you realize your colleagues are left to bear the burden of your procrastination. This not only chips away at your self-esteem, but also sends a stark message to those around you: you are not reliable. In this context, the Stoic philosophy offers a profound remedy for procrastination. Stoicism teaches us the importance of focusing on the task at hand, adhering to deadlines, and avoiding excuses. By embracing this mindset, you can foster discipline and a robust work ethic. Begin by pinpointing the tasks demanding your attention, breaking them into manageable segments, and committing to a clear timeline. Reflect on what accountability means to you and how you can incorporate it into your daily actions. Take a moment to consider the satisfaction that comes from prioritizing your responsibilities and fulfilling your obligations. Not only will you build trust and respect from your peers, but you'll also empower yourself, fostering a sense of accomplishment and clarity in your life. Imagine the immediate rewards of taking decisive action instead of succumbing to procrastination. By concentrating on your responsibilities, you reclaim your time and mental energy, paving the way for personal development and stronger relationships. A renewed sense of freedom awaits as you liberate yourself from the burdens of delay. As we move forward, I invite you to commit to combating procrastination in your life. Share your strategies in the comments and embrace the Stoic principle of responsibility. Together, we can cultivate a community that values accountability and respect, elevating not just ourselves but also those around us. 9. Displaying poor manners and etiquette. When we step into a professional or social setting, our behavior often speaks before we do. It's astonishing how seemingly minor lapses in manners can quietly damage the image we've worked so hard to build. Think about it. Have you ever considered that your actions might be sending the wrong message, even unintentionally? Every interaction is an opportunity to either strengthen or weaken the respect others hold for us. Imagine, for example, you're at a business lunch, and someone's poor table manners distract everyone from the conversation. While it might seem trivial, these behaviors suggest a lack of awareness and respect for those around us. The good news is that we have the power to reshape these perceptions and, in doing so, elevate not just our personal image, but also the quality of our relationships. In an era dominated by digital interactions and rapid communication, the importance of good manners has become even more pronounced. Being considerate, whether that's replying promptly to an email, showing up on time for a meeting, or actively listening instead of checking your phone, demonstrates reliability and respect in a world where these qualities can sometimes feel rare. It's these small, consistent actions that set apart those who are respected from those who are merely tolerated. Reflecting on my own experiences, I recall a critical business lunch where a colleague's lack of etiquette nearly cost us a client. It wasn't just the messy eating, it was the disregard for the seriousness of the situation. The discomfort in the room was palpable, and I realized then that good manners aren't merely about appearances, they're about making others feel valued and comfortable. This, in essence, aligns with Stoic philosophy, controlling what we can, our behavior to foster a positive environment. By consciously practicing good etiquette, we signal to others that we respect their time, their presence, and ultimately, them as individuals. Take a moment to reflect on your own interactions. Have there been times when you might have been unintentionally dismissive or inattentive? What if those moments are affecting how others perceive you, even though your intentions were good? It's a humbling thought, but also an empowering one, because it means we can change the narrative by changing our actions. Starting today, be mindful of your behavior in every interaction. Practice active listening, put away distractions when someone is speaking. In professional settings, acknowledge others' contributions, no matter how small, and respond to invitations and messages promptly. If you're unsure about proper etiquette in certain situations, take the time to learn. There's no shame in improving oneself. These small gestures, done consistently, can transform not just how others see you, but how you see yourself. The impact of even the smallest changes in behavior is immediate and profound. As you start incorporating better manners into your daily interactions, you'll notice a shift in how people respond to you. Conversations become smoother, collaboration more enthusiastic, and the respect you receive deeper and more genuine. This isn't just about avoiding negative judgments, it's about embracing a level of self-discipline and awareness that fosters genuine connection and mutual respect. Now, let's take this beyond theory. Choose one behavior you'd like to improve. Perhaps it's listening more attentively, or being more punctual, and make a commitment to change it. Share your intention, and let's create a community of people striving to uplift each other through respect and consideration. Small actions, done consistently, can lead to transformative results for everyone involved. 10. Acting immature and reckless. It's often in the quiet moments of reflection that we realize how our actions have impacted the way others perceive us. Have you ever found yourself regretting an impulsive decision, knowing deep down it led to a loss of respect from those around you? It's unsettling to acknowledge, but acting without considering the consequences, letting emotions dictate your choices, or taking unnecessary risks can quickly erode the trust and admiration others once held for you. The question isn't just about avoiding reckless behavior, but how we can ensure our actions are aligned with the values we want to embody. With the constant flow of information and the ease of sharing personal moments in the digital era, there's little room for mistakes to go unnoticed. A single poor decision, such as reckless driving or indulging in dangerous activities, doesn't just jeopardize your safety, it broadcasts a lack of self-discipline to the world. In an age where respect is closely tied to the perception of control and responsibility, any sign of immaturity can have lasting effects on both your relationships and reputation. Every action, no matter how small, contributes to how others view your character. But there's hope in the wisdom of ancient philosophies, such as Stoicism, which teaches that true strength lies in mastering our responses. The Stoics remind us that while we can't control external events, we have complete power over how we react. Before rushing into action, it's crucial to pause and consider the potential outcomes. Will this behavior serve your long-term goals, or is it merely a momentary lapse driven by emotion? By training ourselves to think before acting, we gradually develop the self-control necessary to resist reckless impulses. We all have moments we wish we could take back, those split seconds where emotion overruled reason. Perhaps it was in a heated argument where you said things that fractured a relationship, or in a moment of thrill where you took unnecessary risks. These experiences leave a lasting mark, not just on how others see us, but on our own self-respect. Reflecting on these moments provides valuable insight into the importance of self-control in maintaining respect. Moving forward requires not just intention but action. Begin by cultivating self-awareness in everyday situations. When emotions rise, give yourself the space to breathe and reflect. Each pause strengthens your ability to respond with wisdom, rather than reacting impulsively. This practice not only protects your reputation but also fosters a sense of inner peace, knowing you are in control of your actions. The rewards of practicing self-discipline are immediate and profound. As you develop greater control over your emotions, others will begin to see you as someone who is thoughtful, composed, and mature. With this respect comes a newfound sense of freedom from the chaos of impulsive decisions and the ability to shape your life with intention and clarity. Now is the perfect time to take that first step toward greater self-control. What will you do today to strengthen your ability to act with intention, even in the face of strong emotions? Let's commit to growing together, sharing the small but powerful changes we make along the way. 11. Being a hypocrite. Isn't it intriguing how people are quick to point out flaws in others, yet often fail to see their own contradictions? We've all encountered situations where someone preaches values they themselves don't follow. Perhaps we've even been guilty of it ourselves. Hypocrisy, whether deliberate or not, has a sneaky way of chipping away at our integrity. It's one of those subtle habits that can quickly tarnish our reputation. When there's a clear gap between what we say and what we do, the respect others have for us can evaporate in an instant. Let's take a closer look at how this behavior impacts our relationships and explore how Stoic wisdom can help us avoid falling into this trap. More than ever, authenticity stands at the forefront of what people seek in their interactions, especially in leadership roles and personal relationships. In an era where actions speak louder than words, hypocrisy can do significant damage. Whether it's a boss who insists on punctuality but habitually arrives late, or a friend who offers health advice while neglecting their own well-being, hypocrisy creates a sense of imbalance. This disconnect fosters distrust and resentment, which can be difficult to repair. People want to trust those whose words and actions align, and when that doesn't happen, it undermines credibility. It's easy to say the right things, but far harder to live by them. Think back to moments in your life where your expectations of others didn't quite match your behavior. Maybe you've told a colleague to be more organized, only to miss deadlines yourself. Or perhaps you've stressed the importance of balance and self-care while struggling to manage your own stress. These small inconsistencies may not seem significant at first, but over time they create a reputation for unreliability. When others see that we don't follow through on our own advice, it can lead to feelings of disappointment or even betrayal. The emotional rift created by hypocrisy weakens the foundation of trust that respect is built upon. Do you ever pause to reflect on whether your actions truly align with the values you advocate? How do you think others perceive those moments when your standards aren't equally applied? These are challenging questions but necessary ones if we aim to live a life of integrity. Hypocrisy often stems from a desire to project a certain image or maintain control. However, Stoicism encourages us to live authentically, focusing less on appearances and more on embodying our true values. The key is consistency, striving not just to say what's right, but to do what's right. To address hypocrisy, the solution is simple yet profound: self-awareness and accountability. Before giving advice or setting expectations, ask yourself, am I upholding this standard in my own life? If the answer is no, it's time to make a change. Rather than focusing on how others need to improve, shift your attention inward. At work, lead by example. If punctuality is important to you, show up on time. If you value honesty, be truthful in all your interactions. The more your actions align with your words, the more others will trust and respect you. In a Stoic sense, living in harmony with your values means treating others fairly and holding yourself to the same, if not higher, standards. By actively striving to align your actions with your principles, you'll begin to notice an immediate shift in how people perceive and respond to you. Respect is cultivated through consistency, not just in what you say, but in what you do. The relief that comes from knowing you are living truthfully and in accordance with your values is powerful. People will begin to trust and admire you, not because of your words alone, but because you walk the talk. This authenticity strengthens relationships and fosters long-term respect, both at work and in your personal life. Take a moment today to reflect on areas where your words and actions may not be in sync. Whether in your professional or personal life, make a conscious effort to realign. Identify one specific behavior or value where you can improve and begin taking steps toward greater consistency. Share this commitment with someone close to you or within your circle, and engage in conversations about how others handle similar situations. Not only will this promote accountability, but it will also inspire others to strive for the same integrity. After all, respect is not just a gift from others, it's a reflection of how we choose to live with ourselves. 12. Lacking self-control and discipline. Do you ever find yourself succumbing to distractions, even when you know they're pulling you away from what truly matters? How often do you promise yourself that you'll stay on track, only to give in to momentary temptations that derail your progress? Mastering self-control and discipline is like unlocking a superpower. In a world brimming with endless temptations, be it the lure of social media, the convenience of junk food, or the comfort of procrastination, those who can rise above these distractions are the ones who achieve true greatness. Imagine possessing the mental fortitude to prioritize what's important over what's easy, to choose long-term fulfillment over fleeting pleasure. That's the essence of discipline, and it's what distinguishes the respected from the ignored. In today's fast-paced, hyper-connected world, self-control and discipline are under constant attack. We're bombarded by notifications. Instant gratification is just a click away, and often we find ourselves choosing what feels good now over what's best for us in the long run. This lack of self-discipline not only affects our personal goals, but also damages our professional reputation. When you're known for missing deadlines, showing up late, or abandoning commitments, people start to question your reliability and integrity. And in a society where trust is hard to build but easy to lose, these behaviors can significantly undermine the respect others have for you. Think about the last time you gave in to a distraction. Perhaps it was spending hours scrolling through your phone instead of finishing a project, or indulging in unhealthy habits, even though you promised yourself you wouldn't. Remember that sense of disappointment, the guilt that gnaws at you when you let yourself down. It's a feeling that not only weakens your self-esteem, but also shapes how others view you. Over time, these small lapses can erode the trust and respect people have for you, painting a picture of someone who can't be relied upon, someone whose word is more wishful thinking than a promise. Each time you choose an impulsive action over a disciplined one, you're essentially telling yourself and everyone around you that your word can't be trusted. Ask yourself, how many times have you made promises to yourself that you haven't kept? How does it feel to know that your actions don't align with your words? What would your life look like if you had the discipline to follow through on your commitments, no matter how small? This is not just about gaining respect from others, it's about earning respect for yourself. Because the truth is, the respect others have for you is a reflection of the respect you have for your own boundaries and goals. If you're ready to take control, start small. Identify one area where you often lack self-control. Maybe it's checking your phone first thing in the morning instead of focusing on your priorities, or perhaps it's saying yes to tasks that you know will overwhelm you. Choose one habit to change and commit to it for the next week. For instance, if you struggle with procrastination, set a timer for 30 minutes and work without distraction. Push yourself to stick to this small promise. As you gain mastery over this one area, expand your efforts to other parts of your life. Discipline is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Imagine the freedom of being in control of your actions, of knowing that when you set your mind to something, you will follow through. The immediate benefit is not just the satisfaction of completing tasks or reaching goals, but the profound sense of self-respect that comes from knowing you can trust yourself. As you build this inner discipline, not only will you achieve more, but you'll also become someone others look up to and respect. You'll be seen as a person of integrity, someone whose actions match their words, and that's a rare and valuable trait in today's world. Are you ready to build your self-discipline and regain the respect you deserve? Share one area of your life where you're committed to making a change. Let's support each other in this journey towards becoming more disciplined, reliable, and respected individuals. Because when you respect yourself enough to keep your own promises, others will naturally follow suit. As we've seen, accumulating negative habits like these can quietly erode the respect others have for us, even when we don't realize it. While occasional slip-ups are human, consistently behaving in disrespectful, selfish, or impulsive ways harms both our relationships and our reputation over time. The key to maintaining respect lies in conscious effort recognizing these behaviors and making a commitment to change. By practicing self-control, empathy, and responsibility, we can repair and strengthen the bonds we have with others, and in turn, foster more meaningful and respectful connections. If you found value in this video, drop a 1 in the comments, share it with others, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more insights on Stoicism and personal growth.